I did pray for arms and legs, but arms and legs did not come. Because of fear, I concluded, God's not real. There is no hope. I'm alone. I'll always be alone. I'll never get married. Even if I got married, I can't even hold my wife's hand. Even if I had kids, I can't even hold my children when they're crying. I am sorry if you've been abused. I'm sorry if someone has mistreated you. I'm sorry if you're struggling with something that I don't know about. But I want you to know something, that you don't know what miracles can come from your broken pieces until you give your broken pieces a chance.
Sometimes life doesn't break you in front of people. It doesn't shout. It doesn't create drama. It breaks you quietly inside your heart when no one is watching, when no one knows. Some pain is silent. Every day you wake up, you go to work, you take care of responsibilities, you smile when needed. From outside, everything looks normal, but inside, something feels missing. Not because life is bad, not because you are weak, but because hope feels delayed. Then you scroll through your phone. You see others winning, others traveling, and others celebrating. Slowly, without knowing it, you start doubting your own life. Remember this: comparison doesn't steal success. Comparison steals peace. Most of us measure life by what we don't have. That is, less money, less luck, less opportunities. But what if the real strength of your life is not what you have lost, but what you're still doing with what you have? There was a woman who lived in complete darkness and silence. She could not see, she could not hear. Yet she once said, "I have found life so beautiful." She did not focus on what she lost. She focused on what she still had inside. She was Helen Keller. She was the first deaf-blind person to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree. She was the first one to fight for education and disability rights for blind. If she could see beauty without eyes, then what is stopping us? He had no arms, no legs, but a heart full of courage. Nick Vujicic teaches us something powerful. Being broken is not about the body, it is about the mind. He says, if you don't get a miracle, become one. He was the founder of Life Without Limbs, a global non-profit organization. He became a world-renowned motivational speaker, addressing millions of people around 60 countries. He is also the best-selling author of the book Life Without Limits. Failure comes to everyone, again and again. Most people stop trying. They feel tired. They give up. But some people use failure as training. They learn, they grow, and history remembers them. A man failed more than 1,000 times. People laughed at him. He said, "I did not fail. I learned. I learned from my mistakes." When the whole world was complaining about darkness, he created light. He invented an electric bulb after 10,000 failed attempts. He was Thomas Edison. He went on to hold 1,093 patents, one of the most prolific inventors in history. He invented electric bulb. He invented phonograph music system. He was the first person to invent motion picture camera and many more. Just imagine a life when every day after sunset we have to just survive on lighting a lamp. Imagine what a life will be if there's no music to hear or if there is no entertainment for us. All these were a contribution of a person who had failed more than 10,000 times. He lost elections after elections. He failed in business. He lost his girlfriend. He saw his children dying in his own eyes. Life hit him hard, but he did not quit. He chose to keep walking. His blessing was not luck, but it was courage. And he was Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of United States. It was he who abolished slavery in US and the blacks started living a life of dignity. Always remember, courage keeps you going. If poverty can give this world an Abraham Lincoln, then imagine what poverty can make you and me if we take motivation and lessons out of it. The choice is left to you and me. Whether we are letting poverty dominate us, destroy us, weaken us, or we learn from it, get motivated, and achieve something big. She was the 20th child of 22 siblings to her parents. She was affected with polio when she was young. Doctors told her she would never walk again. But she didn't listen to fear. She counted her heartbeat, not her weakness. First, she started baby steps. Then slowly she started walking, then running faster. Then she ran past her limits and became a champion. She was Wilma Rudolph. She won 3 gold medals at 1960 Olympics in Rome. She was the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in a single Olympics. When a poverty-stricken person, when a polio-affected person, when a 20th child of 22 siblings can overcome every odds and become a world champion, then are we right in complaining and brooding over our weakness? Then one day, a question comes quietly. What if life is not unfair? What if I've forgotten to be grateful? Truth hurts at first, but it also heals. You stop counting problems and start counting blessings. Your health, your family, your breath. Yet another day to live and try again. Gratitude doesn't change life. It changes your strength. When you are thankful, life doesn't become perfect or problems don't disappear. But it is just that you become stronger. You stop asking, why me? And instead start asking, what is this teaching me? Peace comes when you appreciate what you have. Count your blessings, not because life is perfect, but because someone else is praying for what you already have. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Count your blessings doesn't mean that you have to get into a comfort zone by saying to yourself, still, it's okay. At least I have what I have. It doesn't mean if you're poor, you continue remaining poor. It doesn't mean you have to stop dreaming big. It doesn't mean you have to continue remaining back wherever you are presently in your life. It only means be thankful for what you have. Because there are still many people in this world who don't have what you have and praying at least to be what you are presently. Count your blessing means stop complaining about what you don't have and start concentrating on what you have. Count your blessing means not letting your shortcomings to obstruct your way. Instead, focusing on your strength, nurturing it, and letting it lead your way. Count your blessing means stop concentrating on your weakness. Change your approach to achieve your dreams and goals. It means refusing to lie down. It means stop blaming. It means accept the challenge thrown to you by the world and nature. 80% of the global rich and successful people were either from a poor or middle class background. They refused to accept poverty as shortcoming. They accepted poverty as a challenge. They accepted poverty as a motivation. They did not complain about poverty. They simply refused poverty to pin them down. Abraham Lincoln did not complain about his poverty. He took it as a motivation. He took it as a challenge. He sat under the street lamp and studied. Helen Keller did not cry that she was deaf and blind. She took it as a challenge. It took her 8 years to speak her first word, which was water. Edison was thrown out of his school when he was a small child. His teacher said he can never be educated. He was a dud. But he and his mom took it as a challenge and proved them wrong. Imagine what all complaints Nick Vujicic has to give. He didn't have 2 hands and 2 legs. Can you even imagine how a single day of our life will be if you don't have 2 hands and 2 legs? Every person is created with a spark by God. It is left to the individual to turn the spark into fire. You can turn it into a simple flame or a roaring fire. Count your blessings simply means stop focusing on your weakness and start concentrating on your strength. It simply means believe in yourself. There was once a boy who was always complaining every day about his torn shoes. Till one fine day across the road, he found another boy who did not have two legs.
My boy, he was 8 years old, sitting on the floor. He said, "Daddy, I wish you had arms." I said, "Why, baby?" He said, "Because then I could know how it feels for you to hug me." Me and my wife were there, right? We're like on the verge of tears, and he says, "But that's okay, Daddy." I said, "Why is that?" He said, "That just means I'm gonna hug you longer and stronger." Doctors looked at me and said, "He's not gonna walk, he's not gonna go to school, he's not gonna do anything in his life." And then my parents, they just loved me like crazy and said, "You gotta try. Try this, try that, try this, try that." And I'm thinking sometimes like, "Mom and Dad, you're crazy, man. I have no arms, no legs. How would I ever be able to do this or do that?" But they encouraged me and they loved me. And as human beings, we're waiting for stuff like that. We all want love. Everybody say love. Very good. The definition of tough means it's strong. To show your strength, you need to do something that's difficult. I would sound so stupid if I said, "Hey guys, I got a Matchbox car one day and I got some fishing line and I towed that Matchbox car all around all day. How tough is my BMW?" That's stupid. I don't care if you end up being a janitor in this school. I'll tell you why. Because the janitor in my high school inspired me to be a speaker. He changed my life. He said, "You should be a speaker." You know what I said? "You're crazy." He said, "No, really, you need to be a speaker." I said, "Stop it, man." 4 months later, he twisted my arm and I said, "Yes." I spoke in front of 10 people, then another 10, then another 10, then I found myself in front of 300 sophomore students. And 3 minutes into my speech, half the girls were crying, and one girl in the middle of the room started weeping, and she put up her hand and she said, "I'm so sorry, can I come up there and give you a hug?" And in front of everybody, she came up and she hugged me and she cried on my shoulder and she whispered in this ear, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. No one's ever told me that they love me. No one's ever told me that I'm beautiful the way that I am." It was because my parents told me that I was beautiful that I'm still here. Some of you don't have those parents, and that's why I'm here. I love you, and you're beautiful just the way you are. Never, ever give up.